Today's recipe is made using these giant goose eggs. Just look at the size difference between the goose eggs and the chicken eggs. It's crazy. I'm going to show you how to take these eggs and turn them into a holiday showstopper. These eggs are from a local farm and are a real game changer for Pavlova. You could say that they're the golden ingredient. The eggs are richer, the whites whip up silkier, and honestly, they just look great on camera. Here's what you're going to need for this recipe. You'll need the whites from 2 goose eggs. If you don't have goose eggs though, you can use chicken eggs. You'll need 4 whites though, but the goose eggs really make a big difference to the whole end product. 280 grams of caster sugar, 2 tablespoons of corn flour, some areas call it cornstarch, 1.5 cups of heavy cream. We can use either 1 tablespoon of white vinegar or lemon juice, it's up to you, and 1 tablespoon of vanilla paste or vanilla essence. For the topping, I'm going to be using whipped cream, fresh berries, some flowers, and some handcrafted chocolate toppers. Okay, firstly, let's separate our eggs, being careful not to get any of the yolk into our mix. Even the tiniest little bit of fat is going to cause the whites not to mix properly. Oh, just being really careful here when I split this open. The shells are considerably harder than what you will get on a chicken egg. So just take your time here. Now here's where the goose eggs really shine. Watch how glossy this meringue will get. It's almost pearlescent. We're going to get this into our mixer. Start at a low speed, gradually building up until we start to get a really nice glossy whipped feel. Okay, so we can see here they're nice and whipped, looking very glossy, very aerated. We're ready to move on to the next stage, which is adding our caster sugar in. And we're going to add that in at 1 tablespoon at a time until we've combined it all. All right, so once we finish adding all of the sugar in, we're going to keep the mixer going until we get some nice thick peaks forming and a really silky glossy finish. Okay, I've been whipping for about 10 minutes now. Let's see how we're going. Ah, that is perfect. This is the consistency you're going for. If your mix isn't thick like this, then give it a little bit longer, yeah? See how silky smooth this is? There's no grittiness, which means the sugar is fully dissolved. Now we can gently fold in the corn flour, vanilla, and our vinegar, which are our secret weapons for that perfect chewy center. Okay, so now that we have our beautiful meringue ready to go, we want to get our oven preheated. It's 120 degrees Celsius or 245 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so while the oven's preheating, let's get our wreath laid out. Now, I am using a piping bag, but you can just use a spoon. Use whatever you have available to you. And let's just try and make a wreath shape. Okay, that should give us a pretty nice outcome, I think. Okay, we are now ready to pop this into the oven. Now we're going to turn it down straight away from 120 degrees to 110 degrees, and we're going to let this bake for about an hour. Okay, while that cooks in the oven and we clean up all of our mess, let's go and have a look at some chocolate toppers that we can make to really elevate that final design. So for these chocolate toppers, I'm using tempered chocolate. Now, if you haven't tempered chocolate before, have a look on the screen. There's a link there to a quick tutorial that'll show you exactly what you need to do. I'm making a few different designs here because when we get to the end, the meringue may not be quite as small as I think it's going to be. The center might be a little bit larger. So you can see I've made a small version, a large version. I'm going to make a few stick-like ones here as well, a few swirls. You can make whatever you like to make the end design exactly how you want it to be. And to give the end product an extra special shine, I'm using a few different colored lusters here and some petal dust just to really elevate these chocolates. All right, we have our chocolate toppers ready to go and the meringue is nearly at the hour mark. So we'll pop these aside, check on the meringue at an hour. Now, depending on your oven, it could be ready at the hour mark. So it's important to check at this time. You'll know because it'll be crispy on the outside. If it isn't crispy and hasn't risen enough, then leave it for up to another half an hour until it reaches that nice crispy outside. When it is ready though, don't remove it from the oven. Just turn the oven off and open the door. Allow it to cool in the oven. This will prevent the shell from cracking. Okay, we're back with the finished product and doesn't it look amazing? Look at the shine. These goose eggs have really given this pavlova something special. So it's time for my favorite part, and that's decorating. You can see I have a variety of fresh flowers from the garden here. I've managed to find some mint, so I've added some mint to the variety as well. I have some store-bought flowers as well, some preserved flowers, so you can use whatever you have available to. If you have fresh edible flowers, excellent. If not, flowers from the store are great too. I have a variety of different berries and some almonds here that I want to add to our decoration. Our chocolate work that we did earlier, and depending on how you want your wreath to look will depend on whether you use fresh cream or whipped cream. Now I want to use whipped cream, and I also want to balance out the sweetness of the meringue a little bit, so I added a little bit of matcha into my whipped cream. So let's get decorating. I'm using a number 12 loyal piping tip here, but you can use whatever you have available to you or whatever your preference is. Okay, so here we have it. Doesn't it look spectacular? Oh, so beautiful. It's just a secret garden. Oh, I'm so happy with how it turned out. Please send me some photos of yours, tag me in your videos. Let me know if you gave this a go at home. I'd love to see what you did with it. We're all going to come up with a different interpretation of how we want the end design to look. And this is going to work great at any time of the year. You could do a Christmas version, Easter, Halloween, birthdays, anniversaries. You could do this up to look like whatever you wanted to celebrate any event. Now, I guess the important thing is, let's see what it looks like on the inside. All right. Oh, I almost don't want to cut into it. Let's see, let's go over this side. Oh, wow. Look at that gooey, soft marshmallow center. Okay, that has cut super well. We've got a beautiful soft marshmallow inside, a firm, crispy crunch on the outside. Well, I'm super happy with how this turned out. The goose eggs really made all the difference here. That super crunchy outside with that soft marshmallow center, they really are the standout piece of the recipe here. Now, if you liked watching the decoration at play here and you'd like to have a look at some more food art, follow me over here when we go and have a look at the Dubai chocolate trend and we turn it into something a little bit more elegant. See you next time.